yeah. Welcome on in Fantasy Alarm friends and hashtag family to Overlay Week. Continues to roll on here with the drafters drafts. Look, it's as simple as this. A lot of the big contests out there that have been around for years are filling all the way up. This one over on drafters, it's not going to fill. We were talking about it earlier this week. It's not even at 90,000 out of 140,000. And what that means is these are guaranteed prizes that were set for a number of people that were supposed to be in this contest, and they're not going to be in there. And you basically have a higher percentage of winning this contest. So get over to Drafters right now. We're going to do one today. If you're not signed up with them yet, we do have a deal going right now. If you use promo code ALARM, they'll give you $100 when you deposit they'll match up to 100% of your deposit up to $100. So if you put in 20, they'll match 20. If you put in 100, they'll match 100. If you put in over 100, they'll give you 100. So that's what's going on there at Alarm. But I'm telling you, this is the easiest path to win $500,000. There's $2.5 million in this prize pool, and we're just going to keep ripping them probably, right up until kickoff here. So we're going to jump in. I was imploring Mr. Howard Bender, my co-host today, to not jump in this one. Maybe share a team with me. Stop stepping on each other's toes. But Bender told me, he reassured me, you're using a strategy that you've employed at the end of summers for a while now, and you're busting it out today. So what's this secret strategy?
Oh, it's not so much a secret strategy. First and foremost, hi, everybody. How are you? Thanks for having me here. Welcome in. It's another Alarm Fantasy Football. And if you're watching us on the YouTubes, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching us over on Twitter or Twitch or any other platform, please, by all means, venture over here to YouTube and just click that like button and subscribe button for us. It's just a great way to help us out. And yeah, as Coop said, I mean, we are definitely focused on this. I've talked about this on the Fantasy Alarm Show this week. It's one of my favorite things to do. Go from like site to site and find the big money contest where the biggest overlays are. I now have, I'll just say it right now, I've got 6 slow drafts going on right now for drafters, like at this time. And shout it out to drafters, by the way, for the platform. I mean, I got to tell you, I absolutely adore. Just being able to see it. If you're looking on desktop, or I'm sure on your iPad or something like that, the active drafts bar that goes across, it just tells you how many picks away you are. Just easy click to that. So it's a great way to kind of get that going. But yeah, because I'm doing a whole mess of these drafts right now, and we've done a couple of them here on the show, it is time to employ a different strategy. And I've said this about mock drafts for the longest time. Always go into a draft. Do at least one draft where you take guys you never take before. Never. Now, it's a little tougher in the first round because, whatever. I mean, these are first round guys. But as you're going through it, if you're out on Ricky Pearsall, maybe you take Ricky Pearsall. You take these guys, maybe it's at their current ADP, or you find that they're slipping in value a little bit more. But what that does is it just gives you a different perspective on the guys that you really like. Are you the person who's single-handedly pushing this player's ADP up because you're like, I'm so locked in on him, I want to make sure I get him, and maybe you are taking him a round or two early. So taking guys who you never take, not to mention when you're doing a large field tournament like this, it increases your exposure to players you might not have. And who knows? You know what? I'm not 100% right, Coop. I know that for a fact. I've had some big swings and misses in my day. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 odd years. So, anybody who tells you that they're 100% right all the time, go spit. They're not. And that's just fact. So this is always a great way to increase my exposure to players I don't normally touch.
Yep. And it makes it a lot easier. I'll tell you this, makes it a lot easier to just take guys at ADP. Because a lot of times there's guys sitting at the top of the queue you don't usually take. This time you get them at a good value. So let's synchronize our watches and jump on in. Do you have the screen up, Mr. Bender?
My screen is up. You count us down. And wait, is it 3, 2, click on one, or is it 3, 2, 1, click?
I think it's 3, 2, 1, go. And then you click on go. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Boom shakalaka.
Boom,
and it looks like
shakalaka.
Looks like we're going to need a couple to join. Looks like looking in the chat, and we'll take a second to say hello to the chat now. It looks like Luke said he was in the lobby. It looks like he jumped in and one fired that he's in. So he fired the previous one, which is good for us. We don't want guys like Mile High Luke in there. We don't want guys like Justin, aka Icy Through, in there. The rest of you guys, I mean, feel free to jump in. We want to get this thing going, but yeah, I've done enough drafts with you guys. Too sharp. Stay out of here. Everybody else, thank you guys for popping in. Ani Coop in the house. What's happening? She was the first one in today, right before the show. We already mentioned Luke. Brian, what's going on, man? Yes, the race is on. I mean, we had a really successful year last year across the board, definitely with best ball as well. Made it pretty deep in some of these contests. So I'm hoping we get a good one going here. Breezy in the house. What's going on, man? And Kevin Tompkins telling you, Bender, no matter what the strategy, you're never going to get him to take Nick Chubb, dude. Not going to get him to take.
I'm okay with that. I don't need you to grab Nick Chubb there. I mean, listen,
I
to
mean,
each his or her own, right?
Conditions are coming. I mean, I'm coming around on Chubb. I've been taking him in a couple as of late because before I was nervous. I was like, okay, here, Joe Mixon's going to be back, and I'm hearing these reports, and they got Woody Marks and all these guys. But like, the more I look into it, Woody Marks wasn't really getting a lot of work with the starters. Nick Chubb is kind of clearly the starter. Joe Mixon going to miss 4 weeks now. And now I'm hearing reports that there's no guarantee he even plays at all.
I saw that comment there. It was Nick Casario who said it. And he was like, I think Schefter referred to it as he was non-committal as to whether or not Joe Mixon would play in 2025. And that kind of like, I mean, that definitely, it's not so much that it's like, let's push Nick Chubb up, but it's really more a matter of, Joe Mixon's ADP. I mean, think about people who took him 3 months ago in drafts. That's a 5th round pick, right? I mean, he's steadily dropped and he's declined in his ADP. Now I've seen him go as low as like the 15th round in some drafts, some recent drafts. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting scenario as well. What about Rashee Rice? How about that now? Like where are you looking at Rashee Rice? I mean, because it's not just it's different. Like when we're doing a big tournament like this, right? You want like that late season push, and maybe you do draft Rashee Rice still in the 6th round or the 7th round. But if you're doing let's say you're just doing like a regular season long league, and then you're going to have to eat a bench spot because he's not technically on IR.
Not on IR. Yeah. I wrote about this in my, an article I just put up on Rashee Rice, kind of detailing the suspension and everything going on. And at the end, I gave my take for fantasy football. And for me, the most important thing is actually the number of starting spots in your league and league size. If I'm in a league that has 12 teams and 3 wide receiver spots and 2 flexes, which are becoming more and more common, especially with sharp fantasy gamers, I can't eat that spot for that long. I need bodies. You're going to need to start essentially 5 wide receivers or 4 wide receivers and 3 running backs. Like you can't afford to just be completely blowing a 6th or 7th round pick and having nothing in your lineup for 6 weeks. You could be 0-6 by that point. But if I'm in a league that's like a work league or something that's 10 teams, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex, I mean, only 120 players are getting drafted in a draft like that, right? Like I'll definitely take those upside stabs. I can find 2 wide receivers somewhere along the way. You know what I mean? So really think about what the format is, what you're doing. I'll tell you this, drafters, because of the format for this one, and I'll pull up our board now because we're about 15 seconds away from starting. On drafters, I'm actually less likely to take him than I am on other platforms, simply because there's no playoffs on drafters. Other tournaments funnel you down, like Scott Fishbowl, for instance, funnels you down into the final weeks, and then the final weeks are so important because you're going up against a bunch of people, and really only the points from that week matter. In this one, it's kind of like Roto. Every week matters equally. And for me, if week 1 matters the same amount as week 17, I'm not going to eat 6 weeks. That's 42% of the season, So he's kind of a no for me on this platform. There are some where maybe I'll make it work, but once again, Icy Through managed to weasel his way into our draft.
Look at us! Look at us down at the back end. This could actually this might work out nicely for us,
This is great.
considering my strategy. At least that you'll be able to get Michael Pittman and
You know what
Drake
I
May.
should? You know what I should do? I should also draft players I hate, and then we'll be battling over losers we don't like.
Oh, the loser players.
At the end. So pretty chalk so far. Chase, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs. People, hey, I told you back in June, July, you and I talked about it. CeeDee Lamb over Justin Jefferson. That's starting to look like consensus, man. So it looks like the flipping
that's
happened.
been consensus, no?
Not back in early when these things opened. It was Jefferson 2 overall, just like it's always been. But now, like, I mean, look at this one. Amon-Ra St. Brown over him.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
People
I mean, listen, I love J-Mo Williams, and I've said this year that I think that he could outpoint Amon-Ra. So I've seen him slipping into the second round. So I'm not alone in that thought process.
Yeah. And are you ready for it, Bender? You ready for the next big hype pick?
Oh, what's the next big hype pick?
Isaac Tesla. Tim Patrick traded away to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Conditions are perfect. The ramp is open for Isaac Tesla to be like the 5th target on that team, but people are going to get over their skis. 3rd round pick. I mean, he's probably going to get that role, but is that a role that's going to have super high upside for fantasy? I don't know. I do know one thing. Isaac Tesla is about to go right up.
That kind of craps up my my last round picks of De'Ami Brown. It does
a little bit. I mean, because again, he's gonna be, maybe a little bit. We'll see. Because I mean, the thing with Tim Patrick is that he's floated around with different teams, and his role is always kind of the same. He's like a part-time guy that goes in and does well against zone and does a little bit.
Oh, all right, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about. I forgot it's Tim Patrick that's on Jacksonville now. Tesla, yeah. I mean, he's the new Khalif Raymond.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I thought he was going to be a slot guy, a backup to Amon-Ra St. Brown, but all offseason he's been playing out wide. So I think the plan is for them to do J-Mo and Tesla out wide and Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot. And then when they go 2 wide receiver sets, Tesla probably comes out, and then it's just J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown out there. So
yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I figured it would end up being anyway. I mean, I think if big fantasy starts to push Tesla up, then I think, we are in a little bit of a concern over there.
Could be anything.
Tesla could be anything, even Tim Patrick. He could be a next Tim Patrick.
All right.
Just to screw you out of some value.
Here we go. The Bender picks are in. First round, just kind of take chalk, but you haven't you haven't been drafting a ton of Puka Nacua, but Brock Bowers, that's a pick I rarely see you make. Kevin Tompkins in the chat wrote an article, The Brock Bowers Bible, over on fantasyalarm.com. I read it. It is well written. It makes a very good case for why he could come out and have the best tight end season of all time. Also kind of points out that he doesn't necessarily need to have the best season of all time for a tight end to be worth a pick in the second round. So here we go, Bender, you're in.
I told you, man. I told you. I don't have any Puka Nacua. I mean, I probably got some of him in like some random best ball draft that I did like 3 or 4 months ago. But yeah, I haven't been taking Puka Nacua at all. I mean, if you're talking about first round at that point, normally I would have taken either Neighbors or Genty, who you got both at the wheel there. So I dig that for you.
I dig that nicely for me. Worked out nicely for me, but I mean, hey, the thing with Bowers is that, again, he could potentially break it. You know what I mean? Like, he could come out. This is a guy that could have, 1,500 yards receiving, 100 catches, 1,500 yards, 8-10 touchdowns. I mean, that would probably be the greatest tight end season of all time, 340 or so PPR points. So entirely possible, man. The guy is special. Pete Carroll just the other day said, we've never had a guy like this. So very interesting to hear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who was I talking to? Oh, I was on KTIK out of Boise State yesterday. And as soon as we jump on, the big joke is that finally I can talk about Ashton Genty and stop talking about Alexander Madison, who was like their favorite Boise State guy to talk about. So now it's all Ashton Genty and Khalil Shakir. That's where
Shakir
we
was Boise
live for
State
the
too, huh?
beginning of every interview.
Yeah, the Bluefield boys over there.
All right, so I got this pick coming up here. It's going to be very, very interesting. There are a number of names out here who I haven't taken, but I tell you, there's one name that I just don't take at all, and he's sitting right here at the top of the queue, my friend, and it is
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
I thought you were going to go Travion, who you also don't take very much.
You know what? I've actually been taking a little bit more Travion in some other leagues. If I click through and showed you the draft boards that I have up top, and folks, check it out on the that top corner over there. You see, Coop's got 21 away or 2 away, like that kind of thing. That's where they have the whole thing. All right, so I do feel like I need I need some running back help here, and the running back who I never take. Sitting right there, James Cook.
Right. Yeah, I don't have a ton of Cook either.
I don't have any. I mean, this is just, and the funny thing is, though, is that like you could look at this team, and if you don't know that this is my strategy of just taking players who I never take, you could still look at this team and be like, that's a really good team right there. It's still a rock solid group of guys.
That's the thing about fantasy football is that there's so many different ways to approach it. There's so many different takes out there. These guys have an ADP as high as they do for a reason. Like there's a bizarro world alarm fantasy out there of people that just love all the guys that we don't. You know what I mean? And who knows who's right and who's not. That's why at the top I do try to sprinkle in. I'll look at my exposures and like if I looked at it recently and I had 9% Malik Neighbors, 6% Nico Collins. So the last few times when I'm on the clock and those are the top 2 names, I've been taking a little bit of Nico Collins because it's like at the top, there's not necessarily any glaring wrong answers, in my opinion. Like, yes, Ashton Genty could just be a complete bust. I mean, that's entirely possible. Most of these guys are proven, and the thing that's really would take them down would be injury. You know what I mean? It's either them or their quarterback. So, for me, I just try to have a balanced portfolio up top and different. I'll be leaning to my difference makers a little later on. Yeah, I don't have much James Cook. I did a short on James Cook recently to kind of describing why I don't love him as much. But the short and sweet of it is that this is a guy who made most of his bones on touchdowns last year. He's the starter, but he gives away pass work to Ty Johnson. He gives away garbage time work to Ray Davis. He gives away goal line work to Josh Allen. Some of these guys going in that range get every single carry. You know what I mean? And James Cook just isn't that guy. So for something like this where I need like maximum upside, not really a guy I'm clicking a ton, but glad you did.
Well, I mean, because in all honesty, I mean, you can't say that he really yields like a ton of work once he gets inside the green zone. Yes, Josh Allen poaches a bunch of touchdowns, but still, James Cook, 16 rushing touchdowns last year.
Right, of course.
That's like you have to take that into consideration. It's one of the points that I've been making about the Buffalo Bills in that vein is that Joe Brady plays it safe inside the green zone. He plays it safe. He keeps the ball on the ground, either in the hands of Josh Allen or in the hands of James Cook. He doesn't throw the ball all that much. So when you're looking for touchdowns for guys like Khalil Shakir or Dalton Kincaid, or you'll look at Joshua Palmer and those guys, you don't see Keon Coleman even. You don't see a lot of high touchdown totals because Joe Brady just keeps it very basic and very safe. If you want to beat us, and keep us out of the end zone, you have to stop Josh Allen, you have to stop James Cook, and either one of those guys could get the ball right there.
Exactly. And it's, you see that with good teams. Like we've seen the Lions, 18 touchdowns for Jamal Williams, the Patriots, LeGarrette Blount. It's not because LeGarrette Blount is great. It's because it's a team with a good offensive line and a good quarterback that executes. And those are the teams that win. And it's why, Derrick Henry was unstoppable last year inside the 5. Like good teams will just do that. But I wanted to ask you, because like the more I think about it, the more I'm looking at the Vegas odds and all these things, I'm wondering if a guy I never take, Isaiah Pacheco, if maybe I need to get a little more exposure to him. because I mean, everything I see is kind of pointing at him potentially having big upside, but I just have a hard time pulling the trigger there.
Yeah, there's nothing sexy about him, right? He
Right.
gives way to Kareem Hunt inside the green zone, and and he's not a big pass catcher. All right, I need running back here,
Who?
and a running back who I don't normally take, or I don't have a lot of. How about that? Because I grab a lot of running backs in my day, but I
Right.
don't take a lot of James Conner.
Me neither. And the reason is, as sad as it is that like I think James Conner's great. I think he's going to be the starter. I do think Trey Benson carves out more of a role this year, and I've been taking Trey Benson late. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to take James Conner here because I want to take Benson. But there could be a world where Conner is just awesome. I mean, I was looking at his week 1 props. Looks like they're projecting James Conner to just be James Conner. So the injuries, I mean, I guess he's been hurt every single year, but again, he's healthy right now. So I'm not going to project that. Looking at your team, Bender, are we going to get a DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers stack? I mean,
I'm honestly, I'm not even like, that's the funny thing is like, also not even like I'm not even thinking about really a lot of stacking, only because I mean, it would be Puka Nakua with Matthew Stafford. It would be Tyreek Hill with Tua. It would be DK Metcalf with Aaron Rodgers. That's not a group of quarterbacks who I really want to be invested in. I know that I have to
Tyreek with
like
Tua. I
take a
mean,
guy I don't normally take, but come on, man.
but there's a path. But there's a path to Tyreek with Tua and DK with Rodgers that is kind of intriguing, man. Yeah, I mean, like Tua, we've seen Tua come out and play at QB1 level, just throwing those quick hitters to Tyreek and Waddle. And Tyreek, I mean, like, say what you will, there's a video of him from this year where there's a bunch of guys that are like high school kids that are like on track to be representing the US in the Olympics in upcoming years, and Tyreek Hill just dusts them in a race. Like, and the speed, I was like talking to some of my track buddies about it, and they're like, yeah, like that's like legitimately a high level 100 meter, like an insane, like basically they were saying that if Tyreek Hill didn't play football, then he would, and with the right training, he probably would be running for the US in the Olympics. Like that kind of speed still for this guy. So like, I don't know, man. Tyreek Hill scares me both ways. I'm scared to take him. I'm scared to let somebody else take him.
I'm scared. I'm scared to own him right now. I'm scared to have him here on this roster. But you know what? Listen, we're having some fun, guys. If you look up in the top left-hand corner over there, you'll see a QR code. If you want to join in on Drafters, I'll cover Coop's ugly mug here for a quick second and give you the big one here. If you don't want to zap a QR code and join us here in Drafters, you can always go to fantasyalarm.com/draftersbb. Right, for Drafters Best Ball, Drafters BB, fantasyalarm.com/Drafters BB. Use the promo code ALARM. You'll get an instant deposit match up to $100. And like we've been talking about here with the amount of overlay in this contest, are they going to get 60,000 people joining between now and week 1? Seems very, very unlikely. So do what I did. I threw $100 in. I got matched $100. I got 10 drafts going on here for the main event, and and just having a good time with it. And it increases your opportunity to win. It's not even just about winning the $500,000. There's $2.5 million in prizes at stake. So throw in a bunch of entries here and increase your opportunity to actually make some money. So fantasyalarm.com/draftersbb, promo code ALARM is what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm planning to do a couple more fast ones this weekend. I got to get my notifications squared away so I can do some slow ones. All right, back on the clock, Bender.
Back on the clock. Where am I going here? There
are plenty of losers right there that I never take.
There really are. There are a ton of guys here who I never take that I'm just going to have to make this move. Oh, I'm burning daylight. I got to go Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers, yeah.
I never take him, right? He's asking to be traded away.
Right. He just signed Amari Cooper.
That could be my worst pick ever.
Yeah, but maybe not. That's the thing, is the guy is a good player. I'm going to take a player that I take a lot here. I'm just going to draft a normal team for a normal person. So I'm gonna take Michael Pittman, who I
Who the
like.
hell took Jalen Waddle?
You,
Oh, Jalen
you
Waddle went in the 5th round there to M. Doc.
This is
Huh.
where you typically would take Pittman. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit and take my guy Tyrone Tracy. You better
Oh,
call
okay.
Tyrone. Tyrone, my boy. Yo, you got to take Jordan Addison here, dude.
I was gonna do that, but you know what's so funny? I'm gonna go with Minnesota, right? But it's not gonna be Jordan Addison. It's gonna be Jordan Mason.
Oh yeah.
Right? I never touched Jordan Mason because unless I'm handcuffing him to Aaron Jones. Does he have the standalone value? We'll see. We'll have a look see here. But I mean, as my third running back, I mean, I'll tell you what, I do not like. I'm looking at this draft board. I do not like sitting there waiting on running back like I did, taking 2 wide receivers and Brock Bowers to start, and then going with James Cook. I probably should have I mean, if it was a normal draft for me, I definitely wouldn't have gone DK Metcalf. I probably would have gone with another running back there.
Right.
But he was just staring me. He was staring me right in the face with his ugly quarterback.
You would have taken Chuba there for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I easily would have taken Chuba there.
Yeah.
Oh no,
so Jordan Mason. I mean, the thing with Jordan Mason,
Chuba went before me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just said Chuba went before me. Don't worry. Keep going.
Did he? Oh, okay. I was looking at. Yeah, you're right. He went before you. So I mean, you could have taken Connor Swift. That's probably who would have been on the docket for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get the case for Jordan Mason. Kevin O'Connell this offseason, actually on the SiriusXM Fantasy channel, talking with Kendall Valenzuela and Adam Ronis. They got him on as a guest, I think, where they were at the Combine. And he said they had not signed Aaron Jones yet. He was a free agent. And he goes, we'd love to get Aaron Jones back. And we actually want to pair him with a young player some way, just keep building our room. Right. And, people all thought they were going to draft somebody, but then they traded for Jordan Mason and kind of paired him up that way. So he kind of told everybody that he wants to build this combo room with like a younger bruiser and then use Aaron Jones as like maybe a pass down back in space. Who knows? I mean, they could just use Aaron Jones as a starter and mix in Mason, but that's kind of the bull case for Mason is that like they come in and do a David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs type split between these two guys where Mason is the guy that would get all the goal line work. And I mean, I expect the Vikings to be a competitive team. Vegas expects them to be a competitive team. So we'll have to see. It really boils down to JJ McCarthy.
It really does boil down to JJ McCarthy.
I'm willing to bet on it.
I tell you, man, this is difficult. Like trying to train my my senses here into taking players that I don't normally take.
It's like opening a book and reading the white parts, dude. You know what I mean? It's like literally, I just some of these players are like invisible to me.
They really are.
I kind of want to do one of these because it seems like you're having fun. All right,
there you go, Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I mean, I don't hate it though. I do take Caleb Williams from time to time. Our own John and Pemba is in on Caleb. I'm going to take my guy here, Mr. Drake May.
Yeah.
Are any more of my guys floating around here? To float pretty far down to get.
Must feel good to be just taking all your guys, huh?
This is great. Dude. I want to win $500,000. Dude.
You're having a great time, aren't you?
This is great. We should do this more often. I hope you win, dude. I hope this team wins.
Dude, how funny is that? How funny would that be?
Just be like, sometimes you just got to take the values.
Oh, the Christian Kirk pick right before me. Nice undervalued play there, Mad Will. Nice undervalued play. All right, I have to pair somebody up with my quarterback here, right?
So do it.
I'm gonna have to do it. I got to take Colston Loveland.
And I think Luther Burden was also there, but Colston Loveland's a guy that you and I not really taking a ton.
Yeah, I haven't taken him. I haven't taken Burden either. So maybe if Burden makes his way back to me here, I'll go full stack here. But I think it's.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. You can make upside cases for all these guys. So this is a guy we don't draft a ton of because we're worried about him not being a full-time player. We're worried about him not potentially have a role that's great. but we have actually seen in the past tight ends play under 50% of the snaps at times if the role is a heavy pass catching one. 2019 Mark Andrews had Nick Boyle playing 70% of the snaps, and Mark Andrews himself played 41%. And he still finished as a top 5 tight end because he would basically just come in and play the slot for every pass play, and he was a focal point of the offense, and he scored 10 touchdowns. Like, even if Cole Kmet's the inline tight end, there's a world where Colston Loveland just comes in for every pass play, and he's just awesome because, I mean, he is a great route runner. He reminds me of like a slower Jordy Nelson type guy where he can just be a big slot, maybe Eric Decker type player, where he's got tremendous hands, runs a heck of a slant. That is a very valuable thing to have on third down, is a big bodied dude that can just create space and get you, 6 yards when you need it. So who knows with Loveland, And again, this is best ball, so you don't need him to be consistent. You just need him to splash at times, right?
Right, and that's the thing, right? I've got Brock Bowers in there, right? So how often am I really going to be using Colston Loveland? If Colston Loveland pops, hopefully it'll just be as a flex play there, or on a week where Brock Bowers doesn't shine. So
Yeah,
I think it's a fine spot to be in. Who took my Luther Burden there?
Yeah.
Kay Goosen
Took JJ McCarthy as well. Let's take a look at Icy's team while we have a second here.
Let's look at Icy's team.
Icy right here. Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, big time Eagles play. Kyron Williams, Terry McLaurin, Emeka Egbuka riding the hype wave. Roma Dunze, which is a pick I'm increasingly making a little more often, hearing very good things about him. And I mean, he did well with what he was given last year. Bo Nix, good pick there. He took Jordan Addison. Okay, Icy, let us know in the chat, Justin, why you're taking Jordan Addison. J.K. Dobbins, Braylon Allen, and then Jared Goff. Jared Goff just voted by his peers as the 15th best player in the league at any position. What do you think about that, Bennett?
I think his teammates are very supportive of him.
No, not just his teammates. The league wide, it's the NFL's top 100 voted on by players and coaches and executives. 15th overall.
Well, good for him. Good for him. Maybe everybody's like swooning over the fact that he does look like what's his face?
Oh yeah. The guy from Driver and
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling, yes. I mean, the thing is, he's always a guy I'm going to root for because he. For those that weren't around,
there it is, Coop. There it is.
There it is. The Tua stat.
The Tua pick.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to
remind me. Can you remind me to take Zach Wilson with my last pick in this draft, please?
Tight ends got real ugly real fast. But so on Jared Goff, man, I will say that 1 year. For my Auntie Coop's birthday, who's in the chat, she hangs out with us. It was during COVID, like everyone was stuck inside. So for Auntie Coop's birthday, I reached out to a bunch of people, and said, hey, if you have a second, shoot us a quick video just saying, hey, happy birthday, Coop. I got so many videos in, but a buddy of mine who is a DJ out in Los Angeles, he was like, hey, I know Jared Goff, from out here, from the clubs and stuff. He's like, I can reach out to him because you're on such a big Rams fan. And not only did he send a video, Jared Goff, but he sent an autographed jersey, right? For my Auntie Coop, saying, shout out Auntie Coop, one of the biggest Rams fans, going on decades now, back when they were first in Los Angeles. And Goff did all that. He didn't have to do any of that, man. So, like, for me, I'll always root for that guy, no matter what. So shout out Jared Goff. Shout out Auntie Coop.
Shout out Auntie Coop. Shout out Jared Goff.
Shout out to the loss
before. By the way, this was before you knew me, because I did not ever receive a request to do a video for Auntie Coop, which Auntie Coop I would have done for you.
For sure, yeah. It's when I just started. So and shout out to the Lost Kings. If you ever see them on the bill, those guys are awesome. DJs, definitely go check out their show. They rock. And they know some famous people. Clearly.
They know some famous people.
Yeah.
Could you see me slide in that? You see me slide in that Ollie Gordon pick?
Big Dolphins fan all of a
sudden. You know that this is a draft where I don't take anybody when I have a Dolphins stat going on here.
Yeah.
That never happens for me.
Greg Martinez asking if Bill is gone. Bill, of course. It's incredible that, like, of all the names in the NFL, like, if you have a unique name, you end up just being known by your name, right? Like Saquon. Everyone knows who Saquon is. It's like if you have a name like that, somehow this guy has become just Bill, like
Just Bill.
Seal. It's incredible, dude. Bill, like of all the names, man. For those that have been living under a rock, he's talking about Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, running
Third to
back
last
for
pick in round 8.
round 8. Yes, so and that's why round 8's about where I would take him to. I'm getting a little nervous though. John and Pemba pointed out on the old Twitter sphere that the sports books do not like Bill for week 1.
Yeah, that's something that we're gonna dive into that on tonight's Fantasy Alarm Show on Sirius XM. So if you guys want to tune in, Coop's got an article about utilizing player props and the numbers, like the season long totals that they're giving. He's using that as far as like a way to just make decisions as far as fantasy goes. I'm also taking a look at player props in relation to some DFS value picks that we can do. But like Bill Krosky Merritt, with the numbers that they're projecting for him or for his props, it's either the easiest smash the over or we might not be. We probably shouldn't be taking Krosky Merritt the way we're doing it.
It is. I mean, again, it's a rookie, so his week 1 prop. Maybe it's like, he needs to earn a bigger role. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of other rookies on there, and their props are not down at like 30 yards. Like his. All right,
There you
Hunter
go.
Henry
There's
time.
the Xavier Leggett pick that I never make.
There it is,
I
dude.
hope
I
he
mean, hey,
jumps
you know
up
what?
and
Adam
catches
Thielen
a
just
bunch
got
of
traded.
touchdowns.
It's a hot pick. I'm gonna go Cam Ward here. Why not? We'll go with a little rookie upside. Who knows, right? Could be the next Jay Cutler.
Why not? Why not? Here you go. Here is this will finish off my third pairing / stack. Well, Bryce Young.
Oh, boo. So we're not going to get Rodgers, dude.
No, I'm not taking Aaron Rodgers. I can't. I've actually taken Aaron Rodgers. If you look at like the Sirius XM Superflex host league for Superflex, Aaron Rodgers is my third QB in that league. And then there was another one that we just did with the Sirius XM family, where I took Aaron Rodgers with like as my third QB in a Superflex. So having already taken him twice, I couldn't possibly bear to take him another time. I'll say this, Coop. If I'm looking at this roster here of mine right now, I mean, I'd say less than 5% owned on any player here, right? Like early drafts, maybe I grabbed Nakua. In the FSGA draft, I took Brock Bowers. This is my first share of Tyreek Hill. My first share of DK Metcalf. My first share of Jacoby Myers. My first share of Caleb Williams. My first share of Tua. My first Ollie Gordon. My first Xavier Leggett. And my first Bryce Young.
Yeah, I mean, and cases can be made for all of them, man. I've drafted every one of those players at some point just because, when I go into these drafts, I always do 2 things, right? I highlight the players that I like, but before I make my pick, I always check the very top of the queue. And I look and see, is the player sitting there a guy that I don't like, but I'm getting crazy value on him? Like right now, you look at it, there's no crazy value there. But if it gets back to me at pick 180 and, Zach Ertz is there, and his ADP is 159, and I'm getting 20 picks of value versus ADP, I will just click that almost regardless of who the guy is. I guess there are some guys that might be completely off my board, but in these big tournaments, I will do that. In my hometown leagues, I'm just drafting my guys. I'm not worried about winning a big tournament. I just need to win 12 leagues. I hate losing, drafting players that I don't like and things like that. So in leagues like that, I just get my guys. In something like this, I'm willing to make some leeway for generational value versus ADP. And I will say the great point in the chat that your Ollie Gordon pick looks better all of a sudden. The news today on Jalen Wright is that he's been banged up. He's actually going to have surgery, not season ending, but as they always say, he's going to miss some time. So he could potentially miss up to half the year. Devon Achan's banged up. So, I mean, who knows?
Damn. That's kind of funny. I saw because I knew that Jalen Wright was going to miss the first week of the season. I didn't, because they had brought up the possibility of surgery.
Yeah,
Ugh.
just became official. So surgery there. And I'll tell you, a guy like Ollie Gordon, like 2 years ago, people were projecting him to be one of the top backs taken in this class. He was one of the best running backs coming out of Oklahoma State. He was awesome. Then he ended up getting a DUI, had some kind of character stuff, came out and didn't play as well his last year, and that's why he slid. But sometimes when I look at these late round picks, I say to myself, okay, did this guy slide because of character issues or did he slide because he's bad at football? Because if he's bad at football, I don't care if he's a nice guy, right? So for me, some of these character issue guys, that's how we got guys like Tyreek Hill in the first place in round 5. That's how we got Stephon Diggs in round 5. It happens, So maybe in this case, if he flies straight and a bunch of players get hurt like they're getting hurt, then Ollie Gordon can pop. He was good. He was good at Oklahoma State. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I mean, he just profiles as like the ground and pound between the tackles guy. He doesn't profile it, in like the outside zone
Right.
scheme. And that they utilize that. But I mean, listen, could he turn into could it become a Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert type thing where Ollie Gordon is playing the Raheem Mostert side? And if he is, did Mostert have like 20, 21 touchdowns that season? So I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it as much as I'm going to hate my next pick.
We've seen bruisers, yeah, because now you get
Blue Exile. He takes away my stack here. Oh, nuts.
Yeah.
Come on.
You could have had an amazing Panthers stack.
Right. Instead, now I got to go with the ultimate Miami stack here, right? The super stack. Grab Malik Washington in there also. Why? Because Jalen Waddle's a punk and he'll be hurt and he won't play and he'll suck.
The super duper stack.
The super duper Dolphins stack.
I'm gonna do a little double check. I need wide receivers. I'm gonna do this here. One injury to JSN or Cooper Kupp. Now we got a stew going. Torrey Horton. A lot of hype going around the Horton Meisters. So
I like the Torrey Horton pick.
Yeah,
I like the Torrey Horton pick.
The thing I've been trying to explain to people is that Torrey Horton on a standalone basis isn't in a great spot because people are like, oh, he's a starter. He's a wide receiver 3. This isn't really a go out there with 3 wide receivers and let it fly type of scheme. It is a 2 wide receiver scheme and 3 wide receivers when they need it. But you're going to be a lot of fullback. There's going to be a lot of AJ Barner and Elijah Arroyo. It's a lot of 2 tight end stuff. I mean, if you go back and look at last year with the Saints, they were running a ton of very weird 2 tight end. They were running a ton of 3 tight end sets if you count Taysom Hill because they would go out there with Foster Moreau. And then just off of Foster Moreau would be Juwan Johnson. And then Taysom Hill would be, doing Lord knows what. And that's kind of how they do things. So very real possibility that Horton doesn't have a big role right away, but one injury moves him into that chair. And MVS last year, when he got a shot, even Marcus Valdez-Scantling, he was making things happen. And they released Marcus Valdez-Scantling earlier this week on Tuesday. So he's not even in the picture anymore. Torrey Horton put him under the floorboard.
MVS floating around San Francisco now. That's going to get ugly.
Every dude, I don't know what it is, man. Every team just looks at it and they're like, yeah, he wasn't good with Aaron Rodgers and he wasn't good with Patrick Mahomes and he wasn't good with Josh Allen, but maybe he'll be good with us.
I think it's just a matter of just getting a body out there, right? I mean, I can't, he doesn't play the same kind of game that Juwan Jennings does, so I can't sit there and say that maybe they're concerned about Jennings not being around, but they don't. They do lack a legit, another downfield threat. You've got Ricky Pearsall who can definitely stretch the field, but overall, I would say MVS is just the guy. Like when you're sitting there and you're like playing football with your buddies in the street or at the park, and you're mapping out different plays and different routes your friends are going to run, right? And then you just turn to to your local MVS. You say, just go deep.
Just go, dude.
Just go deep.
Yeah, it's not coming to you, dude.
It's like telling the kid to go play right field.
Go play right field. Yeah, go take a nap, dude. You just go pick some pop the heads off some dandelions out there. We've got a question in the chat from Henny Auto. He has Chase Brown. So his running backs are Chase Brown, Bijan Robinson, I believe Travion Henderson. It would be Hendy, and then RJ Harvey. Do you trade Chase Brown for BTJ? Are you comfortable with your RBs being Bijan, Henderson, and Harvey?
No, I want that third. I want that third rock solid running back. I want that. You start two, you can flex one. And it gives you time to see what happens with RJ Harvey, right?
Right.
Like and I love BTJ. I definitely do. But I'm on the clock here. Oh man, a late running back who I never take, Coop. I don't think that this doesn't. The limit doesn't exist unless you take Dameon Pierce.
Whoa, that's not fair that you took Olamide Zacchaeus. I'm calling timeout. I'm throwing a flag on that, dude. That's the guy that I've seen you take.
When have I taken him?
You took him in one of these last round.
Did I?
Yep. The whole draft. Scrap it. Scrap the whole draft.
Well, in my defense, I have other shares of some of these other guys too. So
fair and
I gotta try and do something here for my team, right? I gotta.
Yeah, Dameon Pierce being the guy would just be. I don't even want to think about it, dude.
It would be so grotesque and yet so beautiful for this team.
Would be beautiful for this team, and it's entirely possible. That's the thing, is that like if Nick Chubb is, I hate to say it, but people, if he's washed and it doesn't work, then they might just have to turn to Dameon Pierce, because Woody Marks, as exciting as rookies are, a lot of times they play like rookies. So it could be this backfield could end up being week one. Dameon Pierce leads in carries, and Dare Agumbawale is the pass down guy.
Dare Ogunbowale.
Jatavian Sanders. I mean, like, hey, you're proving today that Panthers are so easy to stack. You can just have them, all of them, if you want them.
Seriously, right? I mean,
you just have them.
I mean, I didn't get myself some Jalen Coker in there because the guy right in front of me took him. But I mean, it's very easy to stack Panthers here.
And no Adam Thielen, I'm telling you. And now things are heating up. Now we know it's probably going to be the three wide receivers are going to be Coker, Leggett, and Tet, and Jatavian Sanders. Tommy Tremble, banged up, had back surgery. The stars are aligning.
Yeah. By the way, Tet McMillan did not make my team because I've actually taken a bunch of Tet McMillan as well. Now, he went in the fourth round right before me here. I actually thought about taking him instead of Tyreek Hill back in the third round. But I have started to take a little bit more Tet McMillan since the Adam Thielen trade in a couple of different drafts, simply because, I mean, you trade away Adam Thielen. This is a guy who I already expected to see like a significantly high target rate anyway. I was talking about a 25% target rate for him before. But
exactly. And the thing about Tet is that, like, he's not being drafted where Marvin Harrison Jr. was drafted last year. If you get a Marvin Harrison Jr. season out of Tet for where his ADP is, that'd be fine. I mean, Marv had 800 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. Like from that price, he'd be fine there. But like he could also come out and be this year's Brian Thomas Jr. The opportunity is there. He has the clear go ahead to be the number one for that team right away. So
I gotta tell you, man, on the surface, this is the ugliest team I've ever put together.
But the thing is, you can make a case for every player.
Sure.
You can make a case can be made. A case can be made for every player on this board. That's what makes fantasy football so fun.
This is a horrendous. This team is ugly. Ugly.
Oh no! Somebody took Waller. Come on.
Where am I going? Who am I going to take here? This is a tough one for me. I do need some more running back depth. So you know what? Let's see if maybe Ty Johnson does get some play here inside the red zone for the Bills. Maybe he spells James Cook a little bit.
Yeah, let's go with a little. I go Tyler Lockett here.
Oh.
I have Cam Ward, so I'll go Tyler Lockett, and then I'm going to do something crazy here. I'm going to ask myself, what happens if Zach Ertz gets hurt.
What
if Zach Ertz gets hurt and my guy Ben Sennett takes over? He's my third tight end, so it doesn't matter. But what if? I'm hearing good things from camp about him, that he had a good offseason. What if? That's how we got Trey McBride. It took 1 season and 7 games for Trey McBride to emerge. So week 7 of this year is when Ben Sennett will become the next Trey McBride. That's how that works, right?
That's exactly how it works.
I mean,
did you like that last round pick? A guy I've never taken.
Oh, I actually do really like that pick. This is why I love these 20-round drafts, because then you get the license to take whoever you want in the last round. Afton Chisholm, man, he made the team. He's going to catch an F ton of balls.
My team is terrible.
No way.
It's so funny. Like, yes, because you could make a case for everybody on the team, but this is not. And again, let me just reassure you folks, I'm not throwing away. This isn't pissing away $20 and just saying, for some funsies. It's a matter of, I'm going to be studying this draft board probably more than I've studied any other draft board of any draft that I've done, because now I want to see, where are my favorites? Who took them? What round? What spot did they take? How are they building their roster at that point? So I use this as a tool for me. And again, it's giving me exposure to players who I don't have any real exposure to. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, again, and the thing is, you're taking a lot of guys at their ADP. Because there's more guys that I don't like than ones that I do. So you're getting good values on these guys. And you also constructed your team properly. You didn't just go, oh, I hate all these quarterbacks and take 6 of them. That's throwing your money away. You still built a team with correlations, right? With bye weeks that line up. You drafted the right number of tight ends. You drafted the right number of quarterbacks. And yes, and done. We sent drafters. We're sending drafters some feedback to make it a little more streamer friendly. Hopefully they're gonna hook us up with that for next year. But yeah, I don't like that thing pops up either. But it is nice to see your team sometimes. So there you have it. My team looks like one of my teams. Howard's team looks like
nothing.
Some maniac's team, but I still kind of like it. Icy Through is probably gonna, come in first in this league like he typically does. Brendan Strange, Chikakonkwo back to back, very nice there. So very cool. I'm gonna get into some more slow drafts here. I'm 2 picks away in the Stone Smart division. If you are on Discord and you joined our slow drafters, our 2 leagues, the Mason Taylor division has finally started.
Yes,
so you guys are up and running over there. And that'll be fun to watch as we go. So everybody, make sure, if you want to draft with us on Drafters, if you're joining us late, I cannot emphasize this enough. There's something called overlay, which basically means a contest has guaranteed prizes, but it's not going to fill. I mean, it's not good for the company, but they're going to be fine. It's good for us because this is supposed to have 140,000 people in it. It doesn't even have 90,000 yet. It's not going to fill. It didn't fill last year. That means you're getting a better shot at winning a big prize than you will on some of the other platforms. That's why we've been kind of pushing into these at the end here, is that as we saw that coming along, we were like, okay, let's focus our energy here if we're going to play any of the big ones. If you want to play, go over to fantasyalarm.com/draftersbb, or just hit that QR code that is now conveniently over my face. And
if you unshare the draft board, we can see your smiling mug there, Coop.
I'm just going to move myself up here. Make myself the big screen. I could just crush this little tiny Howard over here. So yes, go over, play on Drafters. Use promo code ALARM. They will match 100% of your deposit up to $100 if you're a first-time depositor. And they've got a bunch of things in terms of, they call them milestones. Like if you draft one of these contests, they give you another one. If you hit 10, I believe, they give you another one. And all along the way, they'll give you these extra incentives to play more of these, because you know what? They're trying to get it filled. It's not going to happen, but you can get a lot more chances to win over on Drafters. And the prize, $2.5 million in total prizes, with the top one being $500,000, life-changing Skrilla, right there. So make sure you guys are set up.
All right. Well, there you go. Again, there's the QR code. Hit that or go to fantasyalarm.com/draftersbb and jump in on some of these. You know what? Take advantage of the overlay. That's what Coop and I are doing. That's how we listen. Again, it's not about pushing a product. It's about pushing you in the direction to make money. You can go to some other big tournament on one of the other sites, but just understand that those contests are filling.
Right. 600,000 people.
And they're going to have 150 to, 300,000 in some cases. So
there was one of them has 800,000.
So there you go. So, I mean, to sit here and to compete right now among 80,000 for $500,000 grand prize with $2.5 million in other prizes. It's not about pushing the platform. It's about pushing you to where the best odds are to making money. And that's really what it comes down to here. So, yeah. Coop, some final thoughts here before we get on out of here and go back to our dungeons to continue working diligently?
I have a lot of thoughts, especially when it comes to Bill Krosky merit and Vegas odds and in grading people's teams. We're going to share those thoughts tonight on SiriusXM, channel 87, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, so, that's right. We're doing a little roast my draft.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter. You can follow Coop on Twitter as well. There are handles right there. This is where you can screenshot your team, and we'll give you your draft grade. Roast my draft tonight on the Fantasy Alarm Show. So awesome. Get psyched about that.
All right, gang. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys rule. We will be back again tomorrow, 1 o'clock for a big show. We moved it from Wednesday to tomorrow to get Johnny and Pemba on. 1 o'clock, we are doing our flag plants for this year. Don't miss that show.
Definitely not. All right. For Andrew Cooper, I'm Howard Bender. This has been Alarm Fantasy Football and
adios, turd nuggets.